Tonight we're going in depth on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, more commonly known as SNAP. It is the modern day version of what many of us know as food stamps. But this isn't just talking about the suspension of the program that starts on Saturday. Tonight we're going to dig into who these recipients are. If you dare go into the comments section of any social media post about SNAP, you will see comments saying everything from "this is working families" to "these are people who are sucking the system dry." Both answers are actually far more complicated.
SNAP benefits will not be replenished by the federal government on November 1st.
There's a lot of talk about SNAP in the news lately.
We are very concerned about SNAP. Folks in Oklahoma are concerned about it. Our food banks are all those entities are gearing up right now.
But who are the SNAP users in Oklahoma? If you go online and dare to look in the comments section on SNAP stories right now, you'll see everything from the working poor to low-income families to the vulgar, saying these people need to get jobs, calling them moochers and lazy, among other things. So we wanted to see what the data actually shows about why Saturday's SNAP suspension is considered such an urgent crisis for so many. The Oklahoma Department of Human Services, or DHS, says 1 out of every 5 Oklahomans depend on SNAP benefits to help them buy groceries. That's about 600,000 to 700,000 people. During the state's last fiscal year, those people spent more than $1.5 billion of SNAP benefits in grocery stores. The average reported benefit per recipient is $183 a month. DHS says 10 to 15% of SNAP users in Oklahoma are considered disabled or senior citizens living on a fixed income like Social Security. 45 to 50% of SNAP users in the state are families with children. Many of them are single-parent homes or both parents struggling to make a living wage. The rest are considered the working poor, in between jobs or working low-wage jobs who need help with basic needs. One shocking statistic is that around 4,000 to 6,000 active-duty military in just Oklahoma, or 25% of the state's military members, also qualify for SNAP because of their low pay. Because of that, the Del City Chamber of Commerce, which is in the city that is home to the state's largest military installation, Tinker Air Force Base, opened a food pantry for military families last week. One of the big questions we've been hearing about from SNAP users is what if there's still a balance on their cards with some October funds left over? Will the card work with the leftover amount? The Oklahoma Department of Human Services posted this on Facebook today that answered that question with a new social media post saying any funds still on the card can still be used. The funds just won't be replenished. However, when you think about it, it's not much of a relief. It's the same thing as giving someone a $5 gift card to the grocery store and telling them, stock up, use that. It helps, but it's not realistic to think those funds will go far by any means. What is complicating this government shutdown and even putting an even bigger strain on the food banks and nonprofits this time around is that there are a bunch of federal workers working who also have not been paid. Friday was the first skipped paycheck for federal workers since the shutdown, and next week will be 2 missed paychecks. The most notable are air traffic controllers and TSA security agents at airports nationwide, but there are many other workers in other departments, both furloughed and working in other areas, who are also not paid. Usually they all get back pay once the government reopens. Whenever that will be, we don't know. But right now the bills are due. Some are taking second part-time jobs. Credit cards are being maxed out, and these employees need access to food on top of SNAP recipients at the same time. Yesterday, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt announced that the state will not use rainy day fund money to fund SNAP benefits. A plan had been floated, mainly by Democrats, to use state surplus money to fill the gap, but the governor said no, citing no guarantees the federal government will pay all or even some of it back once the government reopens.
The federal government has said they're not going to reimburse us, or it's not likely, or they can't guarantee it. So before resorting to rainy day, we're going to beef up other programs that we have.
The governor ordered earlier this month state agencies take a close look into alternatives that can be made available for people at this time. Those other programs he's talking about, more people leaning into, include some from the State Department of Education and WIC. Oklahoma House and Senate Democrats will call for a special legislative session to help SNAP users with state funds tomorrow morning at the state capitol. In many states, not just ours, there is a heavy plea that if you and your children are caught up in any of this, you need to get your kids to school for breakfast and lunch. Broken Arrow and Tulsa Public Schools also sent out reminders that school meals are not caught up in the government shutdown and hungry kids will be fed.
All of our students currently eat for free in Tulsa Public Schools, and we're going to continue to enforce to our families to please encourage your children to eat the food that we serve. Like, come on in, eat breakfast, eat lunch is so important. And because of the SNAP benefits being taken away, it does not affect that.
Now, we are still waiting to hear about if there are plans for dinners and weekends, but at least breakfast and lunch is available at public schools. State Superintendent Lindelfield says all Oklahoma districts are instructed to help families who are struggling to apply for free and reduced price meals. Today, Tulsa nonprofit Food on the Move announced it is bringing back a program it had in place during the pandemic to help families who were either unpaid or will have their SNAP benefits suspended.
We just didn't want people to have to wait until the halfway through the month when our regular programming is. Our thing is we kind of scoop in at the end of the month to get people to the first each month, but there's nothing going to be on the first, so we felt like we needed to do something in that first half of the month to carry people to our regular distributions.
Food on the Move aims to provide families in need with fresh options as well as the basics. The organization announced today it is increasing its drive-through pickup giveaways and will hold them on both November 6th and the 13th. They usually serve about 300 families per drive-through, but expect the uptick with recent developments tied to the government shutdown to be even more. If you want to help them, you can drop off donations or give monetary donations to Food on the Move at their farm at 3787 East Apache. Volunteers will also be needed for the additional drive-throughs and putting together food boxes. Starting this week in the Tulsa Farmers Market will supplement the loss of SNAP benefits. The market is offering SNAP card holders $20 in community tokens that can be used at the market just like cash. The Tulsa Farmers Market will have to cap the number of people who can take advantage of the program to about 70 per market, but more people can use this program if the Farmers Market gets more donations, and any donations made through November 15th will be matched up to $4,000. If you are interested in helping, we have a link to donate inside this story on fox23.com. So if you're okay with where your next meal is coming from, you're not caught up in this, you don't depend on SNAP, here's what's being asked of you right now, because you may have sensed the tone from our nonprofits and our state leaders. You are being asked to give as if this is a tornado or another natural disaster. 25% of Oklahomans will have struggles paying for food on top of the inflation we are all seeing at the grocery store. But instead of buying clothes and clothes and toys this time, you need to give canned goods and financial donations to your local food bank or food pantry.
Now is the time for us to step up as fellow Oklahomans, the Oklahoma Standard, neighbors walking with neighbors. We're best known all across the country. People talk about the Oklahoma Standard, and when times get hard, the Oklahomans step up. And so that's what I'm encouraging all of my fellow Oklahomans to do. We can go, we've set.
Now, if you feel compelled to help, but you don't know where to start, the governor's office is asking you to visit this website here. It is beaneighbor.ok.gov. Now, we did test it out. It will ask you to click a link to be directed to another site connected to DHS, but that is the resource for you there. It is a starting place if you aren't tied or connected to any nonprofits or churches right now. Keep in mind, Saturday is coming quick.